another one of these team members who has just been picked up specifically for the playoffs and still has been really holding their own. So CPS, I mean, you know, even though some of the protocols are a little bit rough, we're coming here onto Split, a map that is pretty well known, and the meta has been more or less figured out, despite the fact that Tejo has been nerfed into the ground. But I'm still so curious to see how this one goes out. I think Shondex going again on the Cypher is simply just a comfort pick, and I'm still expecting that Shondex is going to have a fantastic game on this Cypher, despite the fact that the utility might not be as effective, in my opinion, as that Vice.
Well, Caillou already getting caught here in mid after Ambrosia go for a nice dump on top of a Paranoia, but CPS, they're going to take that as a sign that they need to gun it, and they will through a main, taking down one along the way. Glyph will be the next line of defense here, but stuck inside the smoke on Heaven. CPS have their pick of planting on site. Going to the far corner, as Ambrosia will now go for the post-plant fight. Stepping in through screens is the entire 4-stack. They have a smoke they can dance with, and a little bit of a gap to work with it on top. And Ambrosia have a multitude of angles to play with off of that. Marved very late to the party, too late to stop the defuse, too late to really do anything at all. Ambrosia commanding first round after they control mid and then A site.
I was just about to say, I was looking at the minimap and I'm like, oh, Marved is in middle. Oh, Ambrosia's moving in right now. All 4 of their members are on that retake. Oh, Marved is throwing a smoke, and Ambrosia have killed everybody on the site. Oh, no. And I do think that that is one of those moments where Marved was looking for that timing, looking to potentially catch someone on that lurk outside of mid, or, you know, the reposition coming through. But instead, Ambrosia, they keep it simple and just kind of storm in onto the site and just overpower with pure numbers. So a great retake coming in from Ambrosia. And once again, it really feels like that's where they're most comfortable on the defense. They're happy to yield the site and then just play that retake in on things. But Glyph somehow gets absolutely capped on by Caillou, and Victor already so far deep in the back. And yeah, of course, it's going to be good kills coming through, but Shondex holding it down for the underground.
Yeah, no ability to refrag on top of that. Not a safe TP. Ogiza, the fake blind with the arc crows, and well, he pushes on top. That was cheeky. CPS able to equalize off of that, and so they can reposition. Some great kills over on that B site, but Shondex is restricted to it now. And so it'll be a 3v1 here on site, but Satellite holding that Outlaw. And no clean way to push into it. Still not the greatest guns. Haunt doesn't catch him. There's one shot, and there's the second. It's dodged, so you can at least get on site, but signal's been tossed. Satellite now alone with the classic bonk. 2v1 for the post plan.
That should be nice and easy. And once again, it was just the teamwork and coordination, my 2 favorite things, coming together on that B site to make sure that they found those initial weapons. Now Shondex, out of all the players who could be doing it, I think that Shondex is poised to be one of the people who might be able to win this scenario out. Already both Caillou and Giza low HP. Guardian could be devastating here.
Steps in, giving away, wall bangs through to Giza, but Caillou not checked!
Oh my.
And CPS will get away with the thrifty round 2.
The first bullet makes purchase, like, oh, why is Shondex still walking around? Okay, thank goodness the Outlaws got one more in the barrel. Shondex almost winning that one out. There was a second there. If the flick flew across, just one single bullet would have been enough to make sure that Shondex somehow came in with the clutch. But once again, it's this aggression that kind of comes through. Maybe a little bit of an overcook, allowing for Shondex to secure 2 kills. But still, it all works out in the end for CPS, as they now tie things up 1-1. It's going to be Ambrosia on a little bit of a budget buy here, going aggressive, actually, just outside. Satellite finding a timing. Victor goes down.
Now, the rest of Ambrosia trying to get on top of it. Acreon nice and close to it, but the Paranoia is going to field him out on top of the Prowler. No extra presence there. CPS make it clear they want mid.
The duelist for a duelist down just at the start of the round. Now the question is, where do CPS want to end? Based on the smoke direction here, they want to make sure that no one can really check if they are moving around, but still feels like it's as patient as ever. Minutes still left on the clock, so they've got time to make this decision here. Ambrosia, though, Just going off of pure vibe energy alone. Expect an A-side hit.
And so Acreon will be left to take the damage of whoever steps into Mail. It's Giza. Confirms the one. And with how close he was, Jets Pets will go window shopping. Not finding anything here on tower. They think it's a good place to set up shop. Fully clear on the B site now.
30 seconds left.
T's crossed, I's dotted. And Ambrosia will have to go for the 3-man retake with the eco.
Spike plant.
Yeah, it's going to
Might
be
just
tough
wait to
for
die.
Ambrosia. Yeah, at this point, like, you can just kind of toss those weapons away, deny anything to your opponents. But once again, like, they had the right read. The smoke goes down, blocking things off onto B heaven. Surely they must be rotating into A heaven. And so Ambrosia go to brace for impact, catch them on that rotation around. But instead, it's just Jets Pets just really denying any information and then playing wherever they wanted to. So they move in onto B, more or less uncontested. And Ambrosia don't really have an answer at all. So they will be just backing off and getting ready to die as that spike continues to tick down. But Liff and Welly are pretty far away. And now Giza finding that first kill might make this a little bit more difficult for that initial plan. Oh.
Well, yeah, still have to die in order to get those creds. So they'll just eat that rifle. But here for Ambrosia, the question is, how heavily do you want to play for these spaces that Jets Pets is going to go for? They're very vocal about what they want to take, and they're willing to double, triple, quadruple down on util in order to get it. At mid creep, increasingly important to them as they understand how powerful Satellite can be if they let him wander there for too long, and that can happen really any round. That being said, Satellite will hold it down on B long for now with the help of Glyph. Now that everyone's got their guns, of course, you know Satellite's going to go for the operator.
That was kind of that glass cannon that really just, in my opinion, carried Icebox. Made Victor's life an absolute misery. And Satellite just popping off. But we didn't get to see that sniper rifle very often because the way that Neon plays, you kind of have to hit him right head on. So that now that Satellite's got that super big sniper rifle in hand again, curious to see how Ambrosia are going to be playing around it, how they're going to set him up to make sure that the op finds some value at bare minimum.
Bring them down.
Just having to dodge that arc rose. It's being checked on B main. Jets Pet's doing a great job of maintaining the holders here on B site. Now a Steel Garden on mid.
Interesting.
Catches Acreon, but they're not going to push on top of the Toxic Orb. They're just going to plant Caillou here and then gun it to A. So great corral, but unfortunately not a great peek from Caillou. So 4 onto the A site here.
30 seconds left.
As Ambrosia will set up shop. Oh, and Marv is alone. Shondax catches him. Another really influential pick going into this round, where the post-plant fight is made a lot easier. Neural Theft will confirm everyone's position as well. No fear from Ambrosia walking into this. They just got to fight it right, and they can't initially. Acreon blinded away. Luckily, Satellite's got that operator, and he'll start to finally be able to use it. Ambrosia can just jump into the swings from there. 4 stay standing, and they'll make it 2-2.
And I got to ask the question of why the Steel Garden gets used on mid.
That was an odd one.
Yeah, I gotta wonder what's going on. Maybe it was just a little bit of a misclick or something going on, but still you have to left click to activate that one, or spacing was weird. They wanted to move into heaven regardless though. Doesn't find any value, and on top of that too, Acreon's still alive in the midst of all of it and gets a kill, which is not how you wanted things to go. And at that point too, like Marv trying to play on those off angles, but this time Ambrosia, I mean, they're feeling nice and coordinated moving in. On top of that, Satellite carrying the operator forwards. Jets Pets, they have to be careful as what they're moving into, because at this point, Ambrosia are only getting a little bit stronger as these rounds continue to move forwards.
Face your fear.
Yeah, you're going to start letting Satellite be able to just keep buying ops. Huge haunt to force Victor to make the call, and he'll actually get the kill on the entry, TP. That's massive. Welly only good for 1 off the C's, and Jets Pets have enough to take over the site. Their duelist is still active. They're trying to maybe goad out one more peeker before they get the spike down. Marv playing it ever so safe. A lot of backup
positioning
plans
here as well makes it just that much more difficult to move through, especially too as the The wall will go up, so information given.
Got a lot of contingencies here for Chet's Pets. There's your first. Caillou crossfired by Giza, so he's only good for one. Satellite creeps up. Colette on the up! Say it ain't so! Giza forced to step into the screen and gives his gun away. Unreal turnaround for Ambrosia. And it's 3-2 on the defense.
Oh my, oh my. I mean, I like the idea of getting set up there, you know? It should work in theory, and yet still it's Satellite. So aggressive with the operator, just walks in there and finds a 2-for-1, clearing out the site completely, forcing Giza's hand. Giza was kind of just poised as a little bit of a backup. You could tell Chet's Pets were really thinking that they should be able to win out that duel, and yet it all just falls apart with one old sniper rifle bullet. So Satellite will have the dimensional drift online. Victor, once again, struggling as we kind of play our duelist roulette in all three of these different maps. Victor still trying to find an opportunity to come online. Dimensional drift now available as well on this little bit of a light buy coming through from Chet's Pets. And right now, Ambrosia, they're looking pretty good.
Trapwire is going to stop the Prowler, but Satellite's still going to get intimidated out. I mean, that was no flash, no trade, no nothing. He just walked in. He's an animal.
Who's next?
There's that drift. Victor sends in the decoy to get rid of the trapwire, and will invade onto B through tower. Rest of Chet's Pets holding down the fight. Welly unchecked from the vents. Victor, it's on him to break open the space and grabs a gun, forces Satellite's hand, and dimensional drift. Sends out the decoy just to wall and stall. But the rest of Chet's Pets can get the fight going. Acreon from the tower grabs the one.
Last player standing.
Acreon continuing to just have that overwhelming presence. Stoppers still ever present for Ambrosia, making it 4-2.
It's so interesting because it feels like some of these gunfights are just coming down to like not necessarily a good spacing of utility or where things are going. It's like both teams are caught with their pants down and they're not too sure what to do and just looking and trying to win out the gunfight. And it feels like defensive advantage is going towards Ambrosia more or less. Obviously, just kind of the dive down was fantastic, but like, look at this. It's just people peeking out, trying to find kills. No real like flashes or smokes being kind of set up in the midst of all of that dimensional drift chaos. And so yet again, and Satellite, very close angle here, looking for an opportunity.
And he'll find one. Not a full collat, but still deals some chip to Marv's along with getting rid of Victor with that op shot. And so Chet's Pets are already pretty stunted, but they'll army crawl onto A site now that it's cleared. Razorvine's doing a great job of walling out screens pretty consistently here, at least to get the spike down. But beyond that, tough ask for Giza to be able to frag consistently with the help of just this arc rose. Rest of Ambrosia creeping up from the vent, already hopping up top, spreading thin. Their doling of resources has worked out so well so far. No reason it shouldn't again, even against the guns. The health pool is still their way. Great paranoia from Marv to just play keep away. Maybe force a swing, but nothing there. Bao's just gonna hold it down. That's one down, and now you have reinforcements available. It should pile from there. Acreon, good flush to kill Bao, but there's simply no time at this stage. Remaining members of Ambrosia will call it a day. Keep their peaks, see what else they can get on the way out, and give the round to Chet's Pets.
And that round specifically, like I gotta call out Marv's paranoia that comes through. I mean, you call it keep away, I call it, hey, don't forget about me kind of lurking around in your back line.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they realize where that paranoia comes from, you see Ambrosia hesitate for a second. They're no longer confident in being able to move in there because they know that Omen could sneak up on them at a single point. And so it kind of forces them forward because if they don't get a move on, then suddenly you could have that dagger in your back and that forces the error, allows Bao to find that pick. And so Chet's Pets right back into it, only one round below Ambrosia. This is going to be a Viper Spit deployed in middle, trying to play keep away of that valuable space here as the Haunt gets a little bit of information, so they are at least aware that there is a flood coming in through A heaven.
The TP in from Victor will prompt the Nightfall early on. Acreon attempting to find a chip with this judge and actually gets away with a couple of shots before ducking back behind the snake bite. Chet's Pets have been kind of sandwiched into tower for the time being, but with the smokes active, Victor is free to sort of just wander on forward and grab more space towards the backside. So Ambrosia can't really move either. It's a standstill until a member of Chet's Pets makes their move, goes for that opening kill. As the smoke dissipates, Satellite will walk forward, try to gain a little bit of that passive tower space back now that Victor is kind of stuck there on an island. Rest of Chet's Pets gonna reconsider, hop into the sewer. How many can Victor get? So much to check, potentially, when you know so much of Ambrosia's on your tail. But at this point, it's about making sure that they get cleanly onto this B site. Oh, well, he catches him. And Glyph all the way back in market is gonna calm this early. Oh, Chet's Pets will double back, actually. Recognizing how much of a macro read Ambrosia has on this. They're gonna try and play monkey in the middle, and they'll catch Acreon along the way. 15 seconds to go, though. This is gonna be tight as can be. And the Seize stops them for a moment. That's insane. Haunt as well. 9 seconds, and Shondex is still on the site. Marv tries to plant inside. Caillou breaks it down. Glyph attempted spray through, but the spike will still get planted. Nightfall and Viper's Pit to try to secure the site. And Marv extends on top of the screen to catch Glyph, reset the site. Satellite caught! Shorty gets the kill, now the up on site. Caillou can re-clear heaven. It's the 1v2, so Satellite has to abandon the op. Picks up the Vandal, enters onto the pit, caught by Caillou already. And they should have enough util to deal with this. The double swing is good. And Chet's Pets tie us up at 4.
What? What was that round? It feels like maybe Chet's Pets were out braining themselves there as they decide, like, hey, you know what's a good idea? We got no time, let's double back. And then it's just like you see the Seize come through from Welly, just stops them in place. You can see all their little silhouettes like, please let me free. I need to go, I need to get this spike down. And in the midst of all of this, Glyph just whiffing a little bit prevents it from happening, allowing Chet's Pets the opportunity that they needed to get that down. It looked like they were building the boat as they were sailing it, but somehow Chet's Pets come out on top in the midst of all that chaos and only use a couple of ultimates to make sure that it is a secure round. Ambrosia, now their economy has been broken over their own backs. They're going to try and start to pull things back towards their favor. We see that Victor does have that outlaw. Satellite opting for just a Bucky this time. And a lot of sheriffs on hand. All eyes for me are on Shondex because we've seen some disgusting headshots come through.
Yeah. Chet's Pets hasn't lent too much out to this first day breakout. It's more been about taking events. So if Shondex could get a free pick after seeing these guns, could be integral to netting Ambrosia further advantage. And the Prowler does make the climb to confirm that at least one is still here. Chet's Pets taking their sweet time waiting to see if anybody from Ambrosia gets antsy. Hello. In we go. Shondex still walled out. Not dead. And they'll take vents instead again. Just far more confident in this. They'd rather not have to spend 1 million blinds. Well, here we go again. Snaking through. Ambrosia's going to be far more ready for it this time. Of course, they have worse guns. But Satellite has got a Bucky. Big drop down. Good damage you can do all at once. And yeah, Satellite's missed his window. 7 seconds left, to be fair. Good God.
One enemy remaining.
I think at this point, Shondex is just going to be backing off this one. A 1v5, Sheriff in hand. Apparently, Chet's Pets reaching into the diamonds are made under pressure strategy. 2 rounds in a row now. Decide to go for a mid-round pivot. Not that much time left standing. Brute forcing their way onto site. And somehow they keep on getting away with it. It's going to be Shondex finding Victor's head in the midst of it, but Marv able to find the cleanup as well. As Chet's Pets, they now take the lead, but Fenrak, I'm not going to lie. I don't think that Chet's Pets can continue to do these mid-round turnarounds on any of these sites because it's getting a little bit too close to comfort. And all it takes is Ambrosia finding a single kill, the right kill, and then suddenly the plant doesn't even happen, regardless on the fact that Chet's Pets take over the site.
seeing a lot of options for Chet's Pets in these last couple rounds of the half. It's clear they want to try and play this field. And as long as they don't let Ambrosia get a high ground on them for too long, vantage-wise, they've done pretty okay. They've managed to avoid all of these weak points, just double down on where they fare best around mid, take the fights from there. The flowchart is active, but can it net you a lead exiting this half? That's such a tough thing about attack on split, is that Ambrosia is still able to play into this stoicism that has netted them a lot of these free first bloods when Chet's Pets get a little too crazy. If they can just, again, hold it down, intercept now that they have those guns available to actually play. Macro-wise, Ambrosia does have their finger on the pulse. Entirely possible for them to take this to a 7-5 half themselves.
And it's on top of that too, like using the timeout here, knowing that it's been a little bit overcooked coming from Chet's Pets of, oh my goodness, we're deciding to turn things around here. This might be the opportunity for Ambrosia really to stabilize. Dimensional Drift already online, Welly getting scouted out, but able to escape. Glyph's position given away as well.
Oh, Satellite's just gonna walk out with this operator, gets punished. Welly though, still holding on the site. And so is Glyph. TP's back and Bao's already crept up. Chet's Pets have taken so much of this space on A, and it's undeniable. Shondek's the only one standing already. Chet's Pets set a blowtorch to A that point. And A main is their streak of choice for it as well. They conditioned the vent take long enough to
Spike
make that aggression worth it. And the guns will get reset again.
Yeah, just like, yeah, surely you're going to reinforce fence because you know that we love moving around there, but it's just a full site flood, and now Shondek's just running for the hills, has the operator in hand, so we'll just try and keep that one active as the cyber trap will be deployed. Finds a nice little headshot on a Bao. Still able to escape in the midst of all of this, but gates are very quickly closing. Shondek's really trying to keep it alive, and now we'll do the wraparound here. Giza coming from behind, and finally Shondek's gets put down as that is going to be Satellite no longer able to afford the operator, which once again has been instrumental in stringing together some of these Ambrosia rounds. So a huge bonus for Chet's Pets to make sure to slap that rifle out of the enemy's hands, and it's going to be a full eco buy coming through for Ambrosia, as it's really feeling like this half is starting to slip away from them, Tenrek.
Ambrosia is going to fully relegate themselves again this round. Couldn't agree more. Feels like Chet's Pets really have a handle on how to get things done here. Just lurching forward, taking over, starting to win these fights so much more consistently. That seniority showing. Camera is going to catch this heavy activity on B main quite early. Victor already TP'd on though. Akrian does have the stinger, so could get a little something done, but Victor is just going to blind himself in and go on a raid boss run. Rest of Chet's Pets can't extend too much farther than that. Having some trouble on the link fight, but this gun diff should ring through enough for Chet's Pets to easily take the rest of this round. Stuck on Spike. Hey, buddy. Glyph gets away with a Vandal.
Enemy remaining.
Quickly stopped, though. And that'll do it. Caillou, stick a couple more on the board for him. Chet's Pets up to 7.
It's looking clean from them. And once again, focusing in on that Yoru to Yoru head-to-head, the duelist head-to-head between Ambrosia and Chet's Pets. Satellite, so much of a higher preference of playing those long-range angles. We've seen this operator do disgusting things, but generally speaking, wants to be pushed back, holding long sight lines, whereas Victor, so confident at moving in, and there's so much utility to really support the Yoru in just taking over the site. Whether or not it's that flash, whether or not it's that seize, it all lines up perfectly to allow the Yoru to go in for close range combat. And that is really where Victor has been thriving. This time it's dual operators coming in from the side of Chet's Pets. It's going to be Marv and Victor, dynamic duo with 2 operators in hand.
They're
Satellite
rolling
already
it
down to 17 HP with an operator, but still able to find one.
He still peeks it. He just doesn't care.
Portal closed.
I think Victor may have just wanted a different op skin, so Marv was like, here, I'll give you options. Because, yeah, he's picked up that rifle and is just going to hold this steady. Yet again, though, Vence is not given enough attention. And Glyph is able to get a paranoia to wall himself out. Continue to fight with Caillou a little bit. Okay. Victor gets inside, but doesn't stay for long. Glyph wobbles around it, does a little distraction dance. Jams his cartridge? I don't know.
Remember how I said that Victor was better with a close range weapon compared to the long one? That round kind of solidified that. Obviously, a little bit of awkward timing coming through.
Just a little bit.
Still, it works out perfectly. And now at this point, Bao in a 1v4. Sure, all the expensive weaponry in the world, but if you can't find the timings or place to use it, then means almost nothing.
Yeah, easily dealt with there. Unfortunate fight taken in mid again. Ambrosia finding control of what was one of their stronger areas in the tail end of that half. To continue to remind us that they absolutely still have a stake in this match after a streak that we just saw from Chet's Pets and the map we saw before that. It's easy to forget. But now back on this pistol. Switching over to the attack. It is going to be a world of hurt lurk-wise for Chet's Pets. If they can't check like they haven't been a lot of these rounds, oh geez, then Shondex and Satellite are gonna have a hell of a time for the next 12 rounds.
It almost feels bad to watch that clip because at the same time, you know that Glyph was like, what the heck are you doing here?
Right.
Precise gunplay, Valorant. Yeah, but still, we're swapping over now. It's gonna be 7-5. Chet's Pets still a 2-round lead here. Let's see if they're able to scoop up the pistol, solidify their lead. Otherwise, Ambrosia have a real opportunity to tie things up. As a reminder, this is an elimination match. We're already in map 3. So whoever takes this map will be able to move forward and get more of those points, which are also important at the end of Challengers.
Yeah, winning this match would now be an extra 5. It would be a 5 that would give Chet's Pets another step up in their second place that they currently hold. Shondex opening pick onto Victor. Bao holding close on the ramp. About to get pinched from the vents, so Bao will no doubt make his push, and he does. Catches Shondex. Acreon given another attempt, and he gets it. And Caillou immediately stepping into the storm. Quick 2v4. Giza gets away with the one, turns into Satellite, misses, but grabs the ghost, has an Arc Rose to play with, full reset, paranoia, and it's gonna be a spray war that Marv is able to get through. 4 straight onto Giza, and Acreon has the far angle to deal the remaining damage. And Ambrosia win another pistol.
Yeah, and now we're in that territory where Ambrosia really can tie this one up here. A little bit of a gap in the smoke that was placed, allowing for an excellent angle from Acreon to just make sure that Marv couldn't get away with anything more. It was a little bit uncomfortable. An excellent paranoia, actually, from Marv. Should have been able to secure just a little bit more, but given the fact that Marv looks the wrong way, unsure of where the other people are, given the lack of information, allows for that opening to just come out perfectly. Ambrosia now. Better weaponry. Looking for an opportunity to do a little bit of damage. We're going to be seeing 2 Bulldogs, and Satellite is going to be bringing just a Marshal into this one. Given the fact that nobody on Chet's Pets have bought up that armor, that Marshal is just as deadly as the Operator. So you know we're going to be seeing Satellite looking for those opportunities to find those easy sniper kills. The question that I have, though, is how they're planning on entering if they are going to use Satellite playing from long distances.
They might just have him gold gun it, run it down into backside, and just start left clicking.
No scope.
I wouldn't put it past him, but they'll double back over after Shondex has, as always, done a stupid amount of work on the lurk. You're up A main. This is just his home. Deals all the chip in the world to Marv, doesn't take a lick of damage, and forces his TP deck back down now that Ramps has been passively taken. A stack has been sold. Chet's Pets made the gamble and they lost it. So Marv has got to intercept solo. That doesn't go too well. Gun diff definitely going to pierce through on a round like this. Shondex does not catch an extra while hiding out in the smoke up in heaven, so it's got to be from the low ground that Ambrosia finalized here. So ChetsPets do have a bit of time, do have a bit of space to work with. Edge this out.
Cover going out. Gone.
First peek down. Second run. Nothing there.
One enemy remaining.
Easy invade from there. Ambrosia should be able to just run it down. And clean house here. We'll just send Acreon in because he didn't buy.
Toxins going up.
I'll grab one. But that will do it. Easy setup, easy knockdown for Ambrosia. They control the site. They control the game.
Yep, and it's all tied up now, so great round coming in from them. And I love their utility usage, moving in onto the site. Marv trying to play in all of these tricky angles, but the due diligence is there. You can tell things get put into place to really flush out that Omen, and there's just an overwhelming amount of utility, so Marv has to reposition, has to move out of sight, and immediately gets gunned down. So great job from Ambrosia. They're just kind of sticking to the game plan here and using their utility as they definitely have practiced to make that round look almost easy. So this time, ChetsPets, they've got the rifles in their hand. They're hoping for an opportunity. Satellite dropping the sniper rifle in favor of the Bulldog. Still is a threat, especially at those long distance. That 3 burst can do a lot of damage, especially if those bullets find your head. It's going to be an aggressive push here. Satellite still comes out on top.
And he gets to TP out. Go for the fight with Shondex to play with Caillou. And then they get the C's on the bow as well. That'll force him to stay here and have support. So Ambrosia can start to pressure B-side a little bit more now. Already a great start to the bonus. Mid presence is insane now. But ChetsPets ready to swing it. Might do a drive. They will. Bow only one. Marv's only one. Ambrosia win the stack war.
I have the spike.
2 standing, and your lurker's still up as well.
It's going to be tough. Caillou does have utility, but look at Shondex's position. Feels like Caillou knows, but has no option except forwards here. Haunt available at a moment's notice, but still, this is asking for a lot from this Fade player.
Where are you?
Go ahead and give himself away. Clear out backside. Such a great smoke to work with, but Caillou just might work with it better. Great opening shot. Does sense the presence from tower as well, but it's not going to be swung on until he goes on the spike. And Glyph can just spray through. Ambrosia have too much setup at this point, and they'll swipe away the bonus almost effortlessly.
Yeah, it looked really clean coming in from Ambrosia. Now ChetsPets, they're not in the lead anymore. And this is looking good for Ambrosia. Just a couple of excellent timings coming through on the attack, making sure that they're able to secure the round. Look at this trade going in here. It's so deadly, but just the rifles coming through. Glyph somehow with the Bulldog, able to make the most out of it. At that range, it doesn't matter which weapon you have. The Bulldog will do just fine. Now it's down to a little bit of a scurried buy coming in from ChetsPets. Looking at Marv, looking at Giza. Have those stingers in hand here. Able to somehow dodge the Prowler as well. So that advanced positioning is still not given up. And it's in those close range quarters that the Stinger can do maximum damage. And yeah, look at this. Marv now spotted out. A lot of utility gets tossed in as well to try and flush that Omen out, but he'll be able to escape and smoke it off.
Just have to use the paranoia on his way back out, and then he'll just go right back to that choke. At least for now, until noise is made elsewhere. There's been a smoke tossed into vents, and Shondex doing Shondex things. Catching on A main lurks. Overwhelming presence on that half of the map, and so ChetsPets just have to delve right back into the stack gamble, which will be correct, but still gun diffed. That clears. Satellite on the outlaw, good for the 1 even.
One enemy remaining.
Full clear on B main here, and it'll be another trivial round for Ambrosia. They can take their sweet time with this. Caillou, yeah, terrified of Shondex. Why wouldn't you be?
That's good reason why. Somehow able to find the kill. Once again, it's down to these kind of clashes where it's just like a 3 stack against a 3 stack. Except somehow Ambrosia always comes out on top of that team fight. Obviously, like, I think the weaponry wasn't as good for Chet's Pets that time, but still, like in the previous round, whereas a Bulldog that came out on top, despite all the weapons that had happened, it feels like, I don't know if this is just purely because Ambrosia have been playing together a little bit longer, but they're like, you get left, I get right, I'll get middle. Okay, cool. And break. Versus Chet's Pets, they're all spraying in the same direction, and as a result, they're unable to take everybody down. And Ambrosia now pretty securely in the lead, I would like to say. We do see a timeout being called by Chet's Pets, kind of mitigate some of this wound, stop the bleeding at the source potentially before it gets a little bit too terrible. Because once again, this is an elimination match, and Ambrosia are really looking at sending these former Tier 1 players home.
And I mean, talking about, you know, how far they've come this split, despite Marv and Giza being absolutely incredible players, it really can't be overstated how much of a gap there is to fill with Okeanos and Sato leaving this team coming into the playoffs. It's been just, you know, minimal practice time, and just finding these new team comps and chemistries and roles on, you know, a moment's notice, and now Orglis as well. It's been a tough backslide for such an amazing roster, apart from the parts that are no longer on it. So really would like to see them continue to play a huge role here in North American Challengers. Of course, Ambrosia looking to stop this part of the road early, and Satellite with that dimensional drift and Bucky are going to just hole up on Link, force Chet's Pets to play the waiting game. They'll just walk right in, why not? Marv actually does get away with one before he gets shut down, so that'll confirm the shotgun still. But the Viper's Pit being set up here on the B site, that is all but Ambrosia's. I mean, it already looks like a wash, doesn't it?
Yeah, you see Victor immediately just like, oh my goodness me. Has that operator in hand, now there's a Viper's Pit up, it can't see a thing. That's so hard. Satellite still with the judge inside of the pit.
Looking for red. And he'll find it when Bao steps in. Shondex coming around. Victor does get away with one outside of the garage, and Caillou is creeped up on top of the spike, so they might be able to go for a little silly play, but no, it's Satellite that gets 3 kills on the Bucky, or the judge, excuse me, and holds down a 10th round for Ambrosia.
Oh man,
that was a great attempt though.
Yeah, like, it's so painful to watch because on top of that too, like at that range, the shotgun should not kill you. But given the fact that the Viper's Pit had decayed Caillou to be so low HP, yeah, I mean, the judge is going to be just fine. And look at this, like the protocols coming in from Ambrosia are so darn good. You can tell that it is actually like Chet's Pets, they're just purely going on intuition, purely trying to retake things, and it's kind of working out well for them just off their game sense alone. But at the end of the day, it feels like the strategies are coming through for Ambrosia. These strats that they're kind of pulling out are a little bit more smart in shutting down a lot of that utility. I mean, Victor bought that operator and got 0 value out of it last round. And that's just a little bit of smart utility, a smart ultimate placement as well, making a little bit of a scuffed buy, one that works out.
It'll stay scuffed. Satellite still on this outlaw, but it's enough against the eco here from Chet's Pets. Swift body shot onto Marv. Then yet again, Chet's Pets are without smokes, save for just the Viper for the intercept. Ambrosia understand that Chet's Pets are going to try and play a lot more preventative. They understand how much weaker their retake is now. But with the neural theft, Ambrosia fully confirmed that Chet's Pets are ready for this. So everybody will double back over to B site. Shondex has gotten ahead of the curve though. The Sheer has given them that information, but Shondex doesn't care.
1 enemy remaining.
Easy 2-piece, make it 3. And Ambrosia clean up from there. 2 rounds out from taking the match and moving on to the top 6. Ambrosia continue to impress this stage with a 6 consecutive round streak on the attack.
Oh man, and of course, like you say, and Shondex doesn't care. But when you're shooting as well as he is, yeah, you know what? You're not gonna care when you go through there. You're ready to just kind of pop out around the corner and find 2 easy kills, make it a 3rd, just the game sense once again coming alive. The rest of the squad wasn't even there. Just going for it, so smart as to where the people from Chet's Pets are going to be peeking out. And now this is looking done and dusted. Victor once again going for the operator this time. trying to find something. Thankfully, there is no Viper's Pit available on this round for Ambrosia. A lot of that wall potential just kind of shut down here as Ambrosia, they take their time. It has been pretty popular, that B site over there, but looks like Ambrosia might have a different idea this time. They're going to be walking right into Giza. A lot of utilities set up here to prevent this hit, but if they move in here, I'm pretty sure they should be able to overpower this one.
Acreon waiting for Victor to creep up. He's got this operator. Bao waiting in front of the screen, dodges the blind, unfazed by the peek in from the sheer. And it'll be a 5v4. Another step out for Bao, another kill for Bao, another step out for Bao, and now support is here. Victor's off is even gonna get in on the action. And it's a stall long enough to get the rest of the cavalry here and able to fight.
30 seconds left.
Now, Chet's Pets, they have an opportunity for themselves to slowly pull themselves up, one hand at a time, as Caillou secures that final kill, but it is Bao who really locks down that top part there. Just on the Viper's wall alone, you see Ambrosia are kind of testing the waters, and they get met with pure aggression from the Viper. Bao just shutting any opportunity they had down, and you know, if you are Ambrosia, after that round, you have to ask, are we gonna try again? Looks like the answer is gonna be yes. They do have a little bit of room for error here, but once again, it's just a good holding at the front door for Chet's Pets, and you see that the stall utility comes through as well to make sure that the rest of the team can swing back around. As this time around, Satellite back with the operator in hand. 3 ultimates available for Chet's Pets. If they're able to do this, they could hurt the economy of Ambrosia yet again. Ambrosia still will have enough to buy up one more round. But I don't know if I can say the same for Chet's Pets currently.
So much less room for error. And that's why Bao is being as precise as he is. Another step out, another kill on Noelle, and the spike is stranded. So now it's about the other implants, and Shondex would be the next target. That sheer dealt with. Now Ambrosia, once again, knocking on that front door. Looking for a way in. Satellite, operator peek onto Giza. It's razor sharp, razor thin. But Ambrosia still can't cut through. Now it'll be ramps again. Will it be a gun to mid? Chet's Pets are heavily set up on the outskirts of A. Extension through heaven first.
30 seconds left.
Fake TP out from Satellite, who has handed that operator over to Glyph. Satellite understands that he needs to be active if they choose to fight it. 20 seconds to go, they'll have to. First drop down on top of the Arc Rose. Satellite the first in, furthest in as well. Nightfall immediately on top, and the Vipers pick to boot. Chet's Pets are committed to securing this round, and they look like they have enough to. Satellite turns into Bao! Giza with the collat though! And saves face for Chet's Pets, prevents this from getting too crazy.
Move in after I strike.
Ambrosia really looking at Chet's Pets and being like, remember those couple of rounds where you were like almost running out of time and then you just kind of ran down a site and then somehow were able to win? We're gonna try that one. But you can't fool the master of that. Chet's Pets, they're ready for it. And honestly, excellent usage of that Viper's Pit. It slows them down just enough, cuts off some of those sight lines, forces Ambrosia to get active on that site. They can't just kind of sit back any longer because they know that Bao is just going to hang out there. And unless they go in for it, Bao is never going to show his face outside of the Viper's Pit. And it's in the midst of all of that chaos that we see Chet's Pets come alive. They're able to find the kills. It's a bit of a scramble for Ambrosia. It feels like they're not used to that level of pacing, and especially too when their backs are against the wall, they aren't coming out as well as Chet's Pets do. So a timeout being called now. Ambrosia feeling the heat a little bit as Chet's Pets are only 2 rounds away from potentially tying up this map number 3. Economy still available enough for Ambrosia to scrape together a little bit of a buy, but they are really starting to cut it close. If they lose this round, then Chet's Pets will have broken the Ambrosia economy.
Yeah, this would be the huge step ladder that Chet's Pets need to claw their way back into this map and match. Victor with the operator, no doubt the shorty on top of the dimensional drift. to be able to go for the easy retakes. And so it's about early denial for now. How much can you get done in the pre-plant? How far can Ambrosia go before Chet's Pets get wise?
Who's next?
An early clone from Satellite gets rid of that shear up the ramps. But it'll be a mid-crunch from B with the help of that dimensional drift. That is followed face-to-face by Victor. Chet's Pets fully vocalizing that they will be here and ready to fight you. But Smoke's shrouding a lot of those sight lines. Satellite caught by the haunt, but can he be pressed on? Not just yet, as the rest of the B main push is solid. Chet's Pets on the drop down though, and Victor can now get active. 2 on that operator with the supporting fire from the rest of the team. And Shondex is the only one standing. 1v4, a 4th done already. But Victor holding onto a Cypher with that operator. Misses the shot. Shondex gets another chance. Cage is in. Make sure to cross the tower. No sight line is safe, but he's got to just deal with what he's got. One more trap wire, one more step out, one more chance for Victor to get a 3rd, and for Chet's Pets to get a 10th. They are completely back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of crazy there. We see that it's like 6 rounds in a row for Ambrosia on this attack, looking so good. And yet somehow Chet's Pets are doing a fantastic job at just spacing them out a little bit. It feels like now Ambrosia are caught out with their pants down, and Chet's Pets, they've got their players in the right positions. When it comes down to just those raw gunfights, they're able to find it. Victor having massive value that time, just watching over from B Heaven. Operator in hand, doesn't miss a shot. Makes it so punishing, and sure, Satellite goes for that scout out. Satellite claims so much space, but at the end of the day, there was not much space to claim at all because Chet's Pets have more or less given it up. Victor, though, shut down. Sniper rifle slapped out of his hands by Satellite. A crisp headshot to start things out.
Ballsy
Ambrosia
angle.
desperately looking to pull a round back. Look at their weaponry here, Tenrek. It is not looking good for this team.
Give me a corpse. Where is everyone hiding?
Shondex will creep up for the neural theft.
Face your fear!
The Nightfall will get utilized. Ambrosia fully committing to winning this round and turning the tables, but Marved, unstoppable on the sight hold. No one dares try to peek him. And now the cavalry is once again here. Chet's Pets get away with this round with 4 still standing. Looking dire for a moment. Losing the operator, but they can buy it back here and hold it down.
Wow. Marved once again on that off angle. Set up to be traded off. Be used as bait. And still somehow, in the Nightfall, can't hear anything. Able to find 2 kills, shutting down the complete offense of Ambrosia. And of course, as well, excellent blinds coming through to make sure that they can't see anything. And of course, there is the weaponry disadvantage, but still, the value of Marv being able to just stand still, get all those kills, feel nice and warmed up, especially as we're tied up 11-11, cannot be understated.
Such a crucial point. That's no doubt a confidence booster for Chet's Pets. So is that from Victor, chipping away at Acreon and getting away with just a little bit of damage done to him. Dimensional Drift still in the pocket as well. Chet's Pets have a lot of ways to find agency in a map that Ambrosia continuously go for these inserts. Shondex here on A main, Satellite inserted in advance. They've already gained a hell of a lot of space. What do they do with it though? They can't extend. They can't util dump anywhere. They can't even guarantee mail after that haunt's tossed. They have to still fully clear this, but it's got to be quick. And the C's a great stall tool to get Victor into the right spot to intercept. And there goes that Yoru ultimate to guarantee that this cannot be where Ambrosia push. It's got to be into A.
And all the information is given away right now. Victor scouting out everything. Actually goes through, shorty in hand, able to find Acreon in the midst.
Steel Garden called in from Giza as well to guarantee this fight even harder for Chet's Pets. But Ambrosia can stall out, and the angles are closely held here for Chet's Pets. Not a lot of space gained, and the rest of the cavalry is still taking a moment to get here. Shondex for 2 on the triple swing. Now it's a 3v2 as the site is completely Ambrosia's. Spike has enough time to get planted. Welly on the Marv, and the game is once again turned back on its head. Was it a fake comeback all along? Chet's Pets lose their grip on the A site and just might by extension the match.
I am at a loss of words right now. Shondex, once again, just like, no, we're not losing this match. Runs in, Vandal in hand. This is the Cypher, for goodness sake. just in the back of the site, finds so much value, shutting it down, allowing the rest of Ambrosia to move in safely and get the spike down there. Time crunched as ever, and still Ambrosia come out on top. One more round in order to secure their next spot in playoffs. But CPS, they just need one round themselves. And they've got more than enough money to buy Victor that operator yet again. Force out that OT. This one ain't over just quite yet. It's close, but only one team can come out on top.
Ores and orb.
Relly poking around mid. Toxic orb up on the A entry. Blind in, forces marked out. Ambrosia don't contribute much. Victor misses the op shot! And Ambrosia take over. TP up from Glyph. They're going for overindulgence in this space on top of his smoke. Spike easily planted. And CPS walled away. Active snake bite to force away Satellite. Get the pets back in. Re-up on the smoking tower, though, so it's fragmented. And everyone's watching the drop! Ambrosia stormed through! They fought gods and won in the Swiss stage, but this time, today, they have truly felled a giant. And they'll make the top 6 in Split 2.
Big